everybody, this is Skeet.
Mosh and Mikey over here.
Rock and Roll Roundtable.
Presented as always by our friends at Moshmen Media.
This week, modern Metallica.
Modern Metallica. Uh, I say past Saint Anger, kind of. Maybe with Trujillo as the bass player, to kind of do that as a modern thing. Uh,
I kind of agree with you, Mikey. I was thinking anything from Saint Anger up.
yeah, and there's going to be a couple that we're not going to bother talking about because they're not really. I mean,
Metallica albums.
I didn't really care about either one of the ones we're skipping, but once Trujillo joined the band and the first album they did together was what 2008, I believe, is when this came out, 2009, something
Saint
like
Anger
that.
was 2003.
Yeah, but that was not with Robert in the band. That was Bob Rock did the bass for that. So when Robert joined the band, the first recordings Robert has is Death Magnetic.
Okay. Yes, and that is
Yeah,
2008. Yeah.
yeah, because Saint Anger to me was a good. I liked Saint Anger. A lot of people didn't. And once we get past that, though, the dynamic changed some, just because you have a different bass player and you can do different things.
Yeah.
Not saying that they changed dramatically or anything, but Death Magnetic came out, dude. I didn't dive into that. I wasn't. I think Metallica had been off my radar since Saint Anger. They had a 5 year gap there. It was like
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of different stuff, but I still took time to listen to most of it. And this week I went ahead and listened to the rest of it. But I don't know. What did you think of Death Magnetic? Was it Metallica as usual, or did you think they switched it up a bit?
Okay, so basically what I did was I realized late in the week what our actual homework assignment was, and I went, "Oh shit!" So now
Okay.
I got to get caught up.
Okay.
So I went ahead and I quick listened to a lot of. I actually listened to Saint Anger,
Okay. Yeah, I did too, but that was just
and
because I
and
liked it.
uh, I I really listened to it, and I it gave me a headache because there was so much shit going on. So I just kind of
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not a huge Saint Anger fan, so we'll just leave it at that. But
yeah,
onward,
I am, and you're not. So that's kind of,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
modern Metallica. I mean, if we're going anything past 2000, yeah, we'll include Saint Anger. But I mean, about all the review we need for that album is that it wasn't for everybody. And
no,
it
no,
was different because of Jason leaving. It was also different because of the terrible snare sound. I liked it personally because there was no solos. I thought that was a nice difference. But going on from that, going into Death Magnetic, I was expecting quite a thing because Robert Trujillo had played with Suicidal for a while.
yeah,
So I'm listening for these crazy bass runs like I used to get out of Suicidal.
yeah,
Now, I'm sure he didn't want to try to overstay his welcome per se and go totally against the Metallica's music. I mean, the bass playing's good, don't get me wrong. It's just, I guess at first, the Death Magnetic album, it was kind of like, okay, they're staying the formula. They're not going out on this branch and trying a whole lot of different stuff because of a new member. That's good, bad, or indifferent. It depends on what kind of a Metallica fan you really are.
yeah,
But I like a lot of the songs on there. I liked Cyanide quite a bit. What was the other ones I had? I didn't care for like The Day That Never Comes. I just didn't. I didn't know why I didn't like that. I liked All Nightmare Long. I thought that was catchy enough. But The Unforgiven 3, come on, man.
Yeah,
Come
I
on with that shit. It's not a horrible song, even. It's just why
yeah,
do three of everything? And I liked Suicide and Redemption, the instrumental track. I thought that was pretty cool. So, I mean, there was enough songs on this to make it a solid Metallica album. But I guess my problem with it was I was expecting something different with a new lineup. I mean, not a new lineup, but a new bass player, and thought maybe it was still vintage Metallica to me. Definitely not
okay.
Saint Anger.
Okay, there's the point. So going from Saint Anger, which I guess it was kind of the end of their super experimental stage, if you
Could be,
will.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, the load and well, I guess even the Black album might fall into that. It's like the second period of Metallica. So
Yeah.
they went with Bob Rock for the Black album, and they kind of did some different stuff that people weren't expecting. And then you go to Load and Reload, and it's more of the same. And I think Saint Anger was like the end of that fully experimental, crazy stuff
Yeah.
that's not typical Metallica.
Right. And to be fair on that one, they were going through a lot of stuff. I mean, their bass
Yes,
player had left and they were kind of without him, and James was having some issues, mental wise, I guess, or just he was really in with his family. He was going to therapy or whatever. The movie showed all that stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Some kind of monster movie definitely showed all that stuff for Saint Anger. So when they went to Death Magnetic, yeah, I think they were saying, hey, we probably lost some fan base with this album.
yes,
And it was something we needed to get out of our system per se. But now we've had, they had time with Robert to get into the band, to get into the groove of things. Probably did a bunch of shows, even though I didn't go to any back in them days.
yeah.
So I mean, Death Magnetic to me is a not their worst album by any means.
Oh God,
It's
no.
it's just a solid B for me. It's like a B minus maybe. Nothing grabbed my attention overwhelmingly, but
And
it was still a solid Metallica album.
that kind of sums it up for me too. Uh, when I think about the album, I don't actually remember a song. I don't remember a song title, but
Uh,
I liked their return to the classic sound a little bit more. It wasn't old
yeah,
school, but it's definitely in that fucking neighborhood. So it for
yeah,
me
they're
it was kind of like, okay, we're gonna go back to what we knew, but we're gonna keep it modern.
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there's some on there. Like I said, All Nightmare Long was pretty popular. People played that a lot. But there's a lot of the other ones I had to remember when I listened to it this week. I'm like, oh, I didn't remember that.
Yeah,
It's probably All Nightmare Long to me was the best one on the album, and it's definitely the Metallica formula to a T. I mean, it's just had the fast moving, but not too fast. It had his vocals were solid and they were like they've been, and it had the little drum break things that Lars does. That's whatever with Lars, but yeah, I didn't think it was terrible. I mean, yeah, B minus for me on that one.
okay. I'll give it a C plus B minus. I guess. I like I said, it was good, but it wasn't fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. I mean, that's fair.
So,
So we move to what, 8 years later? Was it that? They had a big gap
Well,
again.
they had the Lulu album, which was
We
Lou
don't
Reed
count
and
that.
Metallica, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't. To me, that's like a side project, kind of like S and
Yeah.
M was.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So it's
I
not
didn't
really
like.
a Metallica album, but it fucking is, and I don't care. I just
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fine that Lou Reed was one of their idols. The Velvet Underground was influential for a lot of people. I'm
yeah,
not one of those people. I never got into the Velvet Underground.
no,
I never wanted to. Lou Reed, I just thought was a boring kind of guy, singer wise, and I'm like, I don't get the concept for wanting to do it, but Metallica at that point can afford to do whatever the hell they wanted to,
yeah, yeah,
and
exactly,
they love the album. If you hear them in interviews, they absolutely think that's the greatest thing.
yeah,
And it's beyond my comprehension. I didn't get it. So I listened to it, not this week because I really didn't think I was going to want to talk about it. But I listened to it kind of when it came out. And it's like, it's not ungodly, but it's not Metallica in any way, shape, or form. So it's like, I don't even really count that as a Metallica album,
yeah,
but it is, but I just don't count it.
yeah.
And then
It's
S&M too. It's like the one thing that irritates me, and maybe it shouldn't, maybe it's just Metallica doubles and triples everything they do. I mean, you had Garage Days Revisited. You had Load. You had Reload. You had Unforgiven 1, Unforgiven 2, Unforgiven 3. It's like, I mean, are they running out of stuff to think of? I mean, at that point, it's like the imagination gone because it's like, I don't know. But that was for me. But Hardwired came out like, what, 8 years after Death Magnet. And I heard the song Hardwired on like Liquid Metal or something on XM.
yeah,
So I was pretty pumped up to hear it. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is going to be cool. It's kind of going back to, you know, for me, it was back to Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All, at least Hardwired. It was fast. It was brutal kind of for them. It was, you know. So I think I asked for that as in passing. I asked somebody to get that for me for Christmas. Like we had like a Santa trade for our family. And I think my brother and sister-in-law got me Hardwired and they got me the Crowbar album. Those were the two I talked about at the time.
yeah,
And I can't complain about Hardwired. I thought it was good, really good. I liked Hardwired song. I like Moth in the Flame, Spit Out the Bone. It's like there was some I didn't care for. And Murder One was one of those. That's like I I don't know why I don't like that song. But it had, if I'm looking at, I'm trying to look at some of them to refresh my week here. See, there really wasn't. Those were the only ones I liked. The ones I named were like the top tier of the album. The
yeah,
rest was ho hum. Well, Atlas Rise. I got to say, Atlas Rise was cool. And I mean, it's the same as Death Magnetic. It's about the same as Death Magnetic for me. It's like never with Metallica except for the Lulu album, which I don't understand.
yeah,
No Metallica album sucks. They're just ho hum. It's just like, yeah, I've heard this before. I've heard all that. And maybe that's why I'm a big Saint Anger guy, because it was different at the time.
yeah,
But I can't sit there and bash on people that sell out arenas and sell albums like crazy and they're still at it today. And it's like, but this album was, for being an 8 year gap on true Metallica albums, I should say. I thought it was good. I mean, it was again a solid B. And it's like, and when I say B, I'm comparing those to my two favorite Metallica albums, which, well, other than Saint Anger, because I like Saint Anger, but it's not number one or two. But it's definitely back. Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning were my two favorites. Even over the Black Album, even over Load and Reload, of course. But those were two of my favorite albums. So Master of Puppets is like a teetering on A+ for me. So
Yeah,
that's kind of where it is. And Ride the Lightning's a solid A. So it's like comparable to those. They're just a step below. This is good, bad. It's not being disrespectful to them. Just my personal opinion. They're a step below those two albums,
yeah,
Death Magnetic and Hardwired. Hardwired may be a B+. I think it had a little more to it than maybe Death Magnetic did, but I can't give it an A.
yeah.
it's not in my not in my brain to do that. So that's solid again. I mean, just they're the longevity band of our generation.
Yeah.
Nothing they do is terrible, and they just keep doing it and putting them out. So that's my thoughts on Hardwire.
Uh I don't know. Hardwired was cool. That song was cool. There was a lot of almost similar songs
Yeah,
that you've heard from the earlier stuff, where you kind of go, I mean, we've borrowed from other songs, so I
sure.
kind of fucking get it if you want to throw a little something in there. Uh the I don't know why did they do two discs?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't, but it's like,
Yeah, I just don't get it. With having 12 songs total,
yeah,
it's like, why didn't you just do one disc? I think this was like a download first, right?
it probably was. I don't remember. Like I said, I got it for Christmas, and I
Yeah.
had it in my car for a while, and then it's been down here in the collection for quite a few years now. I mean, and I mean the initially, I don't understand why it was, but
Yeah.
there's probably a reason. It's probably got a little intricacy differences in the two to disc, I'm assuming.
I
And I think there might even be an extra like song on one disc that's
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
there.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if it was just a ploy, a marketing ploy, or what it was. Yeah, but it's
Uh
still, I mean, it's still a good album. It really,
yeah, it's not bad. I mean, again, I'd rate it about even with Magnetic,
yeah,
because it's
yeah,
pretty
that's pretty
much
close.
it's almost like that maybe they did both these albums all at once and split it up.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that, but it's like 8 year gap. You would think they, and I guess that's maybe their thing too, though. They probably do that because nothing really goes out of style with that.
Yeah.
I mean, really, they every album they have, it kind of stays in style. So I'll have to check my hardwired disc. Like I said, it's been a long time. I thought there was some reason there was two discs, but
Okay.
I might be completely out of my mind too. So I'll have to check that, double check it. I listened to it on Spotify this week
Yeah.
instead of on disc. So
Well,
how
for me, I think I liked uh, Death Magnetic a little bit more than this one. I don't know why. Maybe I just didn't give it enough of a chance. I don't know.
yeah, well, I mean, and they had some interesting things go on during that hardwired kind of tour and stuff. The
Yeah.
whole Lady Gaga singing it at the Grammys or whatever. And it's like the complete shit show that was when James's mic went out. It's like I remember little stuff like that, but the songs were good. I mean, I liked Moth to a Flame, which is the one she did. And Spit Out the Bone. Like I said, it's like they had good enough songs on it. It's just nothing that said, "Hey, Metallica's the back and fantastic and all this." No, I didn't get that.
Yeah,
So
that was not. It was not. Uh, Again, you got another solid effort, but just that wow factor, not really. It just
yeah,
so
yeah,
maybe
I get
I'm getting fucking I'm vintage. My likes are getting more vintage because it's just if it's not something that just smacks you where you go, hey, that's actually a fucking good song. Then you know, my attention just goes, okay, all
yeah,
right,
and with either one of those albums we've talked about, could I play it at any given moment and not have a problem listening to it? Sure. But do I strive to listen to it every
yeah,
once in a while? Not really. I mean, it's kind of like I if I hear a song on the radio from one of those albums, I don't switch it or nothing. It's just, I don't go sit down and want to listen to Death Magnetic or Hardwire. It's just not there for me. And we come up on this on the latest one. And I think I told you this when we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. I had not heard the album. I had not heard it because it's like it didn't get a real big release. I mean, it didn't wasn't a bunch of fanfare about it. There was more fanfare about them going on tour and doing the round again.
yeah.
The shows were more important now than the actual album coming. They did do the whole video where, if you remember, Lars was just on a YouTube doing that basic drum beat. I think for I can't even remember what song, Lexus Cerna, maybe the hit. They had one. I can't remember if that was the one it was. It
I
might
think
not be.
so.
But they had a video, I remember, and he started out with the drums and then sent the video out that way. And then you'd see James he did a video playing to it. And then Robert did another video playing to those two guys. So it was like
Okay,
a kind of like here's what we're doing now. And I don't know if that's how they actually wrote it or if it was just, kind of a ploy to say, here's a new album coming out.
yeah,
And I was so disinterested by how boring the drum beat was and stuff. I don't even think I gave a shit what song it was at that time.
yeah.
But when the album came out, I didn't even hear about it. I really didn't. I heard about the tour, the M72 tour or whatever. And I'm like, so the album that I heard that song, that Luxy Sir, I knew that was the release as a single or whatever. So yeah, I had to go in pretty blind this past week to listen to 72 seasons for the first time. Again, man. Again, ho fucking hum on this stuff. I can't bash it because it's not a bad album. It might be more it almost reminds me of a modern group of songs Metallica did. And they went back and said, we want it to sound as polished up as Injustice for All. It went to a very clean sounding Justice for All sound, but not musically, just production wise. Musically, I think it's the same as the last couple albums. Man. It's like I mean, there was a couple songs I did mark them on here as the ones I like. Chasing Light, I thought was good. I did like Darkness Had a Sun. I didn't even mind Crown of Barbed Wire, even though it was kind of goofy lyrics, is what I'm getting at with that. But Screaming Suicide, and it was okay, nothing major. But then again, the whole album was kind of like I listened to it, dude. The first time when I was working out, and I thought, man, it's gonna pump me up. And then Metallica, and it was like I was dragging ass. I had to take it out. I had to take them out. It's like this is nothing grabbed me. I popped my and everybody knows me. I popped my ginger back in and went to town on my workout.
Yeah.
But when I got home and relaxed, I listened to it again, and it just I can't get past the whole it's B all the way. It's
Yeah.
just solid effort, but nothing that's gonna make me want to go out and buy this album or listen to it much of ever again. But
Yeah.
Metallica fans love it because it's standard vintage Metallica with a polished up sound, I think, from the last two albums.
Okay.
That's what I that's what I get out of it. Yeah.
Well,
What do you think of?
for me, Lux Eterna was the fucking highlight of the album. That was the one that caught my attention the most. And it's the fucking shortest song on the goddamn album.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Uh for me, it's it sounds good. I think 72 Seasons was decent. Shadows Follow was decent. Screaming Suicide was okay. It's just a lot. There's so much shit going on with the different part. I mean, it's if they'd have cut these fucking songs down to the to 4 minute, possibly into the 5 minute on some of these. I mean, Too Far Gone is 4 minutes and a half. Room of Mirrors was 5.5. But it seemed like it drug out. I'm like going, when is this fucking song going to be over with?
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
and
and I'm you know,
it had cool stuff to it. I'm not going to say that it wasn't good. It gave you everything that Metallica gives you. This part, that part, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They the songs move around, but almost too much.
Yeah. I think
It,
they get if they're getting bored or what. I don't know, but it's like, yeah, I agree.
I mean, how many fucking parts do you need to tell the story for your song?
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, if
even in Justice for All, there was a couple times that they drug it out when they really didn't need to.
yeah, well, I mean,
To be honest, you know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
I don't think they're Tool or anything like that as far as 10-minute songs, but I do think that sometimes, sometimes it's you think the song's not enough to it with other bands, but and Metallica's the same for me. Is I think they could have probably ended it 30 seconds, a minute before that, but they add another solo or they add another little part at the end. It's like, I understand you're trying to make the coolest song you can, but sometimes, minimalism's not all bad.
Yeah, short and sweet sometimes gets the fucking job done.
Yeah. I mean, there's people like, me being a Nirvana fan and stuff. Yeah. Sometimes his songs were just sing the verse twice, the same exact verse, do the chorus a couple times and end it. I thought, man, that was such a cool riff. Why didn't you make it go longer? But on the other flip of the coin, it's like these
Yes.
guys got some great stuff, and it's like, well, that's a pretty good song. Oh, no, here's another part. Now I hear the wall pedal kicking in. It's like I just I'm over it sometimes with these guys. I liked Metallica a lot back in the 80s, especially. I didn't hate them in the 90s. I thought they were, pretty commercial in the 90s, but it was still good music. The Black Album, the Load and Reload I mean, they were all fine. But in this decade, I guess, or century, since 2003, after Saint Anger, it's just been pretty much vanilla for me. And it's like, B, 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 all the albums are solid enough. where they're not shameful, but they didn't make me want to jump into being a huge Metallica fan again. Nothing like back in the good
Yeah,
old days, I call.
it's got nothing to do with how they record shit. I mean, yes, Saint Anger, the sound was abrasive, but if that's what they were going through at the time, maybe that's a snapshot of what they did. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
get it, but I don't fucking like it. You know, it was just too fucking different, and but this, I mean,
yeah,
it sounds good. The fucking recording's good. I mean, is Lars cheating a little bit on his drums with triggers? Possibly,
a
but
lot of people do.
yeah, a lot of people do. So it's not like they put, like you said, it's not like they put out a piece of shit. But it's just, you know,
Well, I mean, you can't. They're not all going to be master of puppets, ride the lightning, and even in Justice for All, which is my personal tied for third with Saint Anger. But the other albums were just all good, but not good enough to that's maybe why I'm not a huge Metallica fan. It's like I like Metallica, I do. I like them. They're solid, solid every time out the gate. But I've never loved Metallica because they just never did anything quite out of the box for me
yeah.
to make me think, that these guys are phenomenal. Maybe that's sad that I do that, but it's like something really has to catch you.
Okay, so out of the big fucking four, they were the ones that were kind of, I guess you could say, pioneers because they did try the experimental stuff. They
Yeah,
did
oh
try
yeah,
to
yeah,
experiment as musicians, so you can give them a lot of credit for that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I don't consider them not boring. Even I don't even consider them boring. It's just like middle of the road for me. But yeah, they were the first really hard thrash band that went away from thrash and even did ballads. I mean, they did Fade to Black way back when, but it
Yeah.
still had a very intensive kick-in part.
Yes.
And Unforgiven never really did, stuff like that. So they took that chance and they succeeded. So yeah, anytime you do something different and you're successful, that pretty much tells you got carte blanche to do kind of whatever. Now, I don't know anything about 72 seasons as far as if it sold worth a shit, if it charted worth anything. I don't know. I think Death Magnetic hit number one still in a bunch of places, but I'm not sure about the last couple albums. And it's like maybe they probably just, to be honest, they probably just don't care about that shit. Charting and album sales. They're doing these big arenas and festivals, and they're still headlining and they're still very much in demand. So they're doing the right things.
Yeah.
And
Oh
who am
yeah.
I to say? All I got is an opinion. And it's like I would say Metallica is my all-time favorite B plus band. They I can listen to them at any given moment, not have an issue with it. But when I crawl across broken glass to go see them or buy an album, no. There's only a few bands in the world I would do that for,
Yeah.
and it's not. They're as solid as they are, and they deserve all the accolades they get. Absolutely, they're phenomenal. They'll go down as one of the greatest rock and roll heavy metal bands of all time. Very justifiably. So yeah, I mean, just modern Metallica, just it's not for everybody, and but it's good for everybody. I mean, there's not a stinker on that list.
No.
There's nowhere to be found. So yeah, that's my whole spiel on modern Metallica, man. I think it's solid B all the way through.
I have to concur with your thoughts. I mean, does it almost feels like they tried too hard on 72 seasons and actually hardwired. It just feels forced sometimes, and not real organic like we're trying to make a masterpiece, but we don't care if we don't. Do you get
Yeah,
what I'm
kind of
saying
sort of.
there?
Yeah, I think they might be. This is just me spitballing conspiracy theory here. I think they might be half not afraid, but just don't want to tempt fate and try to go to another experimental album like Saint Anger because it got so much backlash when they did it.
Well,
So they're just saying, just stick to the formula,
yeah,
put out, still write songs because they love writing songs. I mean, that's probably the whole gist. They love writing new material like most bands,
yeah,
and they can get away with it. And when they play shows, do they have to play anything off Death Magnetic or Hardwired or anything? They can play multiple shows like you just experienced,
yeah,
and they didn't. They had a no repeat weekend where they played 2 hours or 2.5 hours both nights and didn't do one song twice. They have that luxury and they're headlining festivals for God's sakes. So yeah, that's the mystique of Metallica. They can do whatever the hell they want when they want. They choose to be comfortable in their zone and play what they play. Not hating on them. It's they're perfectly in their rights. They do a fantastic job of keeping their name alive and at the top. They're
yeah.
never swaying from the top of the heap. So
No.
yeah. Yeah, we
Well,
get into the show part though. That's where we got our little extra, which is not only the Metallica review, but I kind of want to hear a little bit about your whole experience at the Sonic Temple Festival. One,
okay, so uh, the second part of the episode, it's still gonna be mainly Metallica, but
right.
yeah, Sonic Temple was a fucking experience for me because
Yeah.
I've never been at a show with that many fucking people. And that's just how I'm going to put it. I have never been to a show with that many fucking people. And maybe Summer Sanitarium when I saw Metallica and Limp Bizkit and uh, Linkin Park back in the 2000s when they were touring for St. Anger. I caught that show, and that was at the Ohio State University arena, where the Buckeyes play.
The football stadium,
Yeah,
yeah.
the football stadium, and that place was packed. But it was. I don't feel it was anything like this Sonic Temple thing was, and it was an hour to get in.
Yeah.
So that fucking sucked. It made me late to see Overkill, which
Uh,
I wanted to fucking see Overkill. So I was bummed about that. Missed that. But we got in time. We got in time. And shit. Let me just take a peek here. Uh, I did catch Exodus.
okay.
So that was cool. It was in the main arena for that one. And they played a half hour set.
Yeah, most festivals that's the underlying people do.
So Exodus was good. Testament was next. And I'd forgot about the Serenity, Return to
Oh,
Serenity. I
return
forgot
to
about that
Serenity.
song. When they
Yeah.
played that, I went, fuck, that was Testament. Okay. So they put on a good show. Everybody put on a good fucking show. So I'm just gonna say that. Then we skipped over to Suicidal Tendencies, which also was good, but they shortchanged everybody because they only played fucking half an hour. It was supposed to go 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah. That's weird.
So They did a fucking super extended version of "Don't Bring Me Down." Okay,
Super extended version, huh?
super fucking extended. Because I'm like, okay, and it's just he drug it out.
Huh. It's
It was
crazy.
fucking weird, and they did "Send Me Your Money," and they did their hits. So
Yeah.
that was cool, but they did shorten the fucking set. So there was another disappointment. I know I'm sounding like a fucking negative Nancy, fucking Debbie
Yeah.
Downer, call me that, but I was
Yeah. And
hyped.
it could have been a decision made by somebody other than suicidal too. I mean, we don't want to say that they
Yes,
just did it. They could have been the festival that
yes,
said, "Hey,
it
we
could
need
have
more
been.
time."
Their fucking sound was excellent. That everybody at that got that fucking stage for the whole day had excellent sound. They had excellent fucking sound. That's all I can say
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's good.
because
Yeah.
that sound was excellent. The main arena was a shit show. Honest to fucking God. So
Main stage was bad.
they had issues off and on all day, especially after Testament. For some reason, those guys, the sound was not a problem. It could have been where we were at and sitting to watch it because I ended up moving
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
arena, and the wind was kicking, so maybe that had something to do with the sound a little bit. But okay, we get to Cooper, and I'm sitting higher up in the stands. So I could see real good. I wasn't as close as I was for Exodus and Testament. So that was a bummer, but okay, I'll deal with it. Get up there for Cooper, puts on an excellent fucking show. It's Alice fucking Cooper.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
again, you've got some sound issues where it sounded like sometimes it was cutting in and out. All right, I dealt with it. Fine. Got through Cooper, and Cooper finished up with fucking Schools Out, and he did Poison, and he did Under My Wheels. He started with 18. I'm 18. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm fucking, we're good to go here. And then did Under My Wheels next, and I was like, perfect, perfect.
Yeah. He has a great set list.
He did
Alice
Hey
Cooper.
Stupid, Feed My Frankenstein. I mean, it's like, and the fucking arena was packed. When Cooper
Oh
came,
yeah.
but yes, when Cooper was there, and I had to fucking bust my ass from Suicidal to get in there to make sure I caught Cooper. So I was hustling my ass across the fucking to get to the main stage area. So again, that was excellent. Zombie comes out and he hit all his shit.
Now, did he play Astro Creek 2000 or not?
Yes, he fucking did. He
The whole
sure
thing?
fucking did. No, no.
No. See, that's going to be the different thing. He is playing that album in entirety when I see him coming up.
Okay.
So that'll
So
be different, but that's cool,
that'll
man.
be cool though. You'll dig that. But he did More Human, and he did Thunder Kiss, and he finished up with Dragula. So that
Okay.
was I was like, cool. Did Living Dead Girl in the fucking middle of the set. I'm like, even cooler. So it was a good show. I heard he was having issues and was getting a little pissy from
Yeah.
a guy I work with was down on the floor area and with the
Yeah.
pit, and it was packed. Again, all those people were all crammed in there. It was
Oh,
fucking
yes.
crazy.
Festival life. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
and I was happy to be up in the fucking stands, even though I was far away and got some long shot pictures. I'm like, I'll deal with it. My phone was almost going to die, and it
Yeah.
was just like was cursed all day with stupid little shit of my own. So I didn't get a whole bunch of pictures, but I got some shots, got a little bit of video as my phone was fucking dying. So I dealt with that. After Zombie, Metallica. And I'm like, okay. I didn't even move. I stayed, was sitting in the same area for all three of those fucking bands because I'm like, I'm not losing this spot. I'm not
Right.
hunting for a spot. This is where we're going to be. There we go. Metallica comes out. Here we go. Creeping fucking Death opens the fucking show.
Ah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
And of course, they come out, they started out with the Good, the Bad, the Ugly intro.
Yeah.
So everybody's getting pumped up. The crowd, I mean, people's just, you see them coming in on the ground level, just piling in, piling in, piling in. Opens up a Creeping Death. And fucking tore it up. So if you're disappointed with any of modern Metallica live show, forget it. It was badass. They earned that fucking right. They are one
Yeah.
of the big four because they come out and they tore it up. Finish Creeping Death. So everybody's pumped up. Harvester of Sorrow.
Oh, yeah. Tasty. I
Yes.
love that.
Yes. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's weird to go Creeping Death and then Harvester of Sorrow, but crowd's still into it. These motherfuckers, after Harvester of Sorrow, play Shortest Straw.
Ooh, sticking with
Dude,
justice now.
I was
Ah,
like, yeah, I'm like going, what the fuck? Are we gonna, are you gonna justice for all? But yeah, Shortest Straw was, and I was like, holy fuck. I don't even think they played that in the Black Album days. I don't,
yeah.
they might have, but I don't remember that on that fucking tour. So
That's probably, yeah.
that was a treat. And I think I saw something where they debuted that to add that into the set list.
That'd be killer, yeah.
Oh,
I'd
so
love to see that.
I was already going, fuck. Three hard hitters right off the fucking bat. Was not expecting Shortest Straw. Then we go into King Nothing, which
Okay.
was a decent song. Load, right? Or was that Reload?
I can't remember what it's one of those two, but I don't remember which one.
So, okay. Good song. I can deal with it. They follow up 72 seasons. So I'm like,
Again,
I guess
gotta put it in there.
if I gotta go take a piss, now might be the time. But I didn't move. It's like, nah. And
Yeah,
it sounded good, but again, it's like too much. It's burning up too much time
yeah,
in my head. You're burning
right,
up too much
yeah.
time. Okay. Then they go with If Darkness Had a Son.
Okay, that'd be cool. I'd like to hear that though. I think that would be cool live. I really
So
do.
okay, and again, I'm like, I didn't recognize it. So be it. I downloaded this offline to give me the list of what the actual set list was.
Okay.
So I dealt with it. Then fucking Kirk and Rob come out and fuck around.
Yeah, they do that quite a bit. That's early for that though, really. If you think
Uh,
about it.
that's what I
I would think
thought.
it'd be
So I'm like, all right, you're dicking around, and it was, it was okay.
they do any covers out of it?
They did
Did you
whatever the
hear?
fuck they did. I didn't know what the fuck it was.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, let's just get out and kill a fucking half an hour jacking off your guitar and your bass. So they,
Yeah.
dicked around a little bit. And I'm like, all I mean, the people up in Canada got fucking Rush.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have played a fucking Ohio type fucking song for this? Yeah, boring. All right. Anyways, uh, then they did Day That Never Comes.
Good album. Well, I mean, it's a good song, but I would
Okay.
I wouldn't have jumped all over the place for that.
Shadows Follow was after that. And again, I'm like going, all right, I know you got to kill 2 hours here, people, but all right, okay. Modern Metallica, let's, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
by then the fucking sun was down and the wind was still whipping around. So it was fucking getting cold.
Yeah. Okay.
Up in the stands, got my fucking coat on, kind of freezing my fucking ass off, but it wasn't too hateful. It was just inconvenient. So
Yeah.
I'm getting a little aggravated. I'm like, all right. So they redeemed themselves with Orion. And
That'd be
I was
cool.
like, okay, now we're getting to some cool shit. So I'm fired up for Orion, and then they do Nothing Else Matters.
Uh,
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, but it
Nighty
sounds
night.
good. It sounds good. Again, all these songs, they sound good. The only thing that kind of was a fucking dick move was the Kirk and Rob noodle. To me,
Yeah.
I was like, there was nothing spectacular. They were kind of dicking around, whatever.
Yeah, just giving the other guys a break, I guess. But they,
Okay. Lars must have to have a break halfway through the fucking set to get some oxygen
yeah,
or something. Because
maybe.
he was thumping and he looked like he was dragging ass, honest to God. He did. Because they would show him on the big screens. So, that's tolerable when you've got that far away, where they've got the great big banner type fucking
Yeah, yeah.
jumbotron shit. So you're still
Yeah.
seeing what's going on. But again, about sad but true, we're winding down the night and people starting to leave to beat the
Really?
fucking traffic out.
Oh, yeah. That's
And
yeah.
and I was also guilty of this myself. So after sad but true, then they fucking do battery as I'm walking my way out of the fucking arena, and
Ah,
I'm going, God damn it. So there's no fucking way I'm gonna be able to get back to the seats I fucking had. So
no,
I'm
no.
jamming to battery as I'm walking my way out. And that was one I was hoping they fucking was gonna play.
Yeah.
So there you go. And they actually, after battery, they did Fuel, Seek and Destroy, and ended up with Master of Puppets. So,
Oh man,
yes,
Master of Puppets, you man.
my impatience, I fucking missed 4 fucking songs. Well, I heard Battery, but I missed
Yeah.
Fuel, which I wanted to fucking hear, Seek and Destroy, and Master of Puppets.
Yeah, those last two would have hurt me. I
Oh,
wasn't
dude,
worried about fuel, but the last two would have hurt me because
yeah. So
I
I was
really like. I mean, "Seek and Destroy" was one that we sang a million times, and then "Master of Puppets" I think is one of the greatest songs ever. So yeah,
so
it's like
in
it's
my own defense, I have seen Metallica on the Black Album tour with Guns N' Roses. They
yeah,
played 2.5 hours. I've seen them play this stuff. Summer Sanitarium, it was fucking classics out the ass. So I have.
yeah.
It's not like I've never experienced it. It sucks that I fucking missed it, but Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I was fucking bummed.
it's
But
both. I
honest,
mean, it's both ways though. It's like, yeah, when you leave a show early, it's like you're really kind of bummed. But if you've seen them before and they played a bunch of the hits, it's like, in our age, yeah, traffic is a mother. I don't want to sit in traffic all damn night. So yeah, I feel you on that. I do. And if it would have been maybe a different band that I had never seen, or I hadn't seen, or it's going to be their last show or last tour or something, I suck it up and stay. Or if I
yes,
had a shuttle, or if I had to shuttle or something like that at
yes.
festival.
So, like I said, fucking excellent set. They kicked ass, except for the fucking spots where they kind of did the newer song or the newer songs that I had not fucking listened to, so I was unfamiliar with it. So a lot of it is my fault, but again, that's not my fucking wheelhouse. Festivals, that's the
Yeah.
last fucking huge festival that my old ass is going to. And I know
I,
it sounds pussy as fuck, but
it's not for everybody.
that yeah, I like to go see my small venue to mid venue shows, and I think it would have been better to have gone to seeing Metallica and an opener, and that I think that would have been a lot better and had a lot of people at it. But that the festival shit, I'm out. I'm fucking out, dude. I can't.
Yeah.
There's too
Well,
many
and
fucking people.
I love my festivals, but I always do it when I go to a festival. I do the complete setup, which is the hotel package. I'm there all 5 days,
Yeah,
whatever. I got
the
the shuttle. The shuttle takes me there and brings me home, so I don't fuck with traffic, which would be the end all for me.
yeah,
Going to a show like that, trying to go for I would have loved to went for a couple days to Sonic Temple, but I just couldn't see driving out of there. And there ain't no damn way. I don't have the patience for that shit. And I didn't really want to go all 4 days because there wasn't enough bands a couple days where I thought, oh, I really want to see that. I would have went the same day you went and Thursday because Ginger was there. Those
yeah,
were the 2 days I contemplated on going. But yeah, if I didn't have the shuttle hotel package thing,
yeah.
festivals would not work for me either.
I got
Or
you.
camping out. Or camping or whatever you gotta do.
Yeah. So
But still.
overall, it was cool. It was cool to see the bands that I saw. I mean, I'd never seen Suicidal or Exodus or so that
Testament. Yeah.
yeah, Testament, that was cool to get to see them. The fucking merch booths were fucking stupid. This is the
Oh
only shirt.
yeah.
This is the only shirt I got because
Oh.
they had the dime bag tent set up, and his girlfriend was there at the booth, so that was cool. That's the only shirt I got
That
because
happens.
the fucking lines for the merch. There was people that had waited 4 fucking hours and not gotten their merch
Yeah.
because I think the Rob Zombie stuff was only going to be there that day. Is
That could
what
be.
I heard. So whether that's true or not, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm here to see bands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
I would
like
have
if I don't
loved,
get a shirt,
yeah, if I would have loved to have gotten a couple shirts, but hey, $40 and I got a cool dime bag shirt at the booth. That was cool,
yeah,
and I wasn't broken heart. I mean, the Sonic Temple prices for their merch was fucking high, so fuck that. I
yeah.
would have liked to had the one that had all the band names, but I'm like, I'm not sweating that fucking shit.
Yeah, that's the one I aim for. That's the ones I got. I got like we got one for free. And the other two were I got a hoodie, I got and all that, but it was because it was involved in my package. It's really big, and the line for that was non-existent. You would text them and say, "I'm coming to get my merch." They would have it for you
Yeah, nice.
at Louder Than Life.
Yeah,
But I think I've never been to Sonic Temple, so I couldn't tell. I think Louder Than Life's got a lot more area, so it's not as packed in there like sardines. So that might be a saving grace that I didn't go to Sonic Temple
yeah.
because it's like I don't like being too shoved in together either. I like
And
to have my space.
and again, if that's your thing, you are going to have a blast because they had so many bands. Now the overlap sucked.
Yeah, that
There
would.
was there was a I uh, Cannibal Corpse was playing. I didn't want to miss Metallica, so
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
didn't catch them. So you have to really plan out your itinerary of what you want to watch and figure it out. That's the only
Yeah.
way to go. But otherwise,
Yeah.
it was a cool experience. But it's not for me. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And just on the a little last thing about modern Metallica is back when we did a show not too long ago, this year sometime about having music in sports. And I talked about when Virginia Tech plays football, they come out to Enter Sandman, and the whole crowd kind of goes. And when the music kicks in, they all jump up and down. Metallica played that football field last week, a week before. First band to ever play the stadium. Nobody's ever played music in this stadium, Virginia Tech, Blackburn, Virginia. They did Enter Sandman. And I think they opened with Enter Sandman to do that. They registered on a fucking Richter scale.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, tell me that,
Yes.
you know, that's not incredibly cool to be, what, 40 years plus, 42 years now into your career,
Yeah.
and you could still cause an earthquake at a football stadium.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, even though it's an older song, modern Metallica still commands that.
Exactly.
They command that attention, and everybody loves that classic Metallica song that much. You could shake a stadium to fucking earthquake volume. Pretty cool, man. I
Yeah.
see that. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yes.
Very
So
cool, but very crazy.
modern Metallica still does not disappoint. That's all you
Yeah,
could say. So
yeah. As much as thought I would never say it, Metallica's got to be one of the. They got to be in the top five conversation all
yeah,
time. They really
yeah,
do. And it's like I hope they know when it's time to go, and they don't put out like a shit album that I have to say, oh man, they blew it at the end.
yeah,
Even if they come out with another B, so be it. It's still solid, good music, and
yeah.
it's still Metallica. So yeah.
Can't argue that. Well, Mikey, you want to wrap it up for today?
Yeah, yep, I think we're good.
All right. This is Skeet.
Smush and Mikey.
See ya.
Seek and destroy, baby.